afternoon. Welcome to First Reformed Church in New Brunswick. We're excited to be able to share another afternoon of wonderful live music with both an in-person and an online audience. We're joined today by Jin Wan. Her program will showcase the North Indian classical dance Kathak and percussion tabla. This is an interactive event, and for those of you joining us on YouTube, we invite you to use the chat feature if you have any questions or comments. The Recital series at First Reformed Church is funded by the Middlesex County Office of Arts and History, and we're grateful to them for continually supporting the series. Today is the last recital of the 2022 season. We hope you have a wonderful holiday season, and we hope to see you again in the spring of 2023. Thank you.
So welcome everybody, and thanks for coming in person, and hello to everybody who's online. This is a very interesting setup, and I'm very glad to be here in such a beautiful place. This instrument is from northern part of India. So India, there's two region based on the music. One is northern part and southern part. So it belongs to Hindustani music. And it's been almost like 800 years old instrument. And it has been played by male for centuries. So now, from 20th century, the female players are coming up. As you can see, I'm not Indian, I'm Korean, I'm from Korea, but lived in India for over 15 years and pursuing dance and tabla. So I'm more of a dancer, and tabla is kind of my passion that I want to share with you all today. So I'm just gonna go a little bit of this vocabulary, because the Indian music traditionally, music and dance, taught orally. So whatever we speak, we have to dance and we have to play. These words has no meaning, and you have to give a meaning to it. And one thing what makes tabla very unique is, even though it's a percussion, we give a lot of importance on sound. So in other words, we use the word worship, because in India traditionally the musicians are worshippers of music and sound. So sound is everything, and the rhythm comes after. So that makes tabla very unique. So there are major three-tone kind of sound. One is a full ringing tone, and semi-ringing tone, and flat tone. The full ringing tone and the first sound of tabla, we call it ta. The full ringing tone. So sometimes in Indian philosophy, there is a word called Om. Yeah? Om is nothing to do with religion. Om is like a humming sound. Or if you go to the cave, or if you go into the deep water, you can hear that inner sound is equivalent to the same thing. So ta is Om for us. So important is sound after. The humming is very important, the sustaining note. So this is a full ringing tone. And second, semi-ringing tone, or thin. And there are two types of thin. One is one here, one is here. Now, there's a flat tone, which played in the middle. This black thing, we call it shahi, is made of stone powder. So I'm going to share some stories. In India, when you go to jewelers and check the purity of gold, they rub into a stone, black stone. They call it surkan stone. And this is made of that stone powder. And manually, you have to layer. This decides the pitch of the tabla. At the same time, the ringing sound, the sustaining sound comes because of this shahi. It's very important. And we played all the flat sound on shahi. Now, the right drum, it creates treble sound, higher pitch. Left drum, it creates lower bass sound. So this is gay. And the flat sound of left drum is gay. So when this combined in treble and bass, we create different sound. So ta become ta. Okay? Tin become din. So this is the role of left drum. Some says this is masculine and this is feminine. So that and yang, masculine, feminine combination creates universe in some philosophy. So I don't know whether it's appropriate to speak this in church. Yeah, so we are talking about genre, it's not about religion. So, da and ge together, da. Now, with this sound, we create a small word. Like, for example, this is da, da. Now, this small sound will make us sentences, like and then we make more and more bigger expanded sound, like so these are the basic sound of tabla. So today I'm going to present a small solo of tabla in 16-beat. We call it tintan. So it's a 4x4, it's a 16-beat rhythmic cycle. Usually we have accompanying musician who plays the same repetitive notes over and over to give the drone and the beats. So it will repeat. Today we'll have a machine. So in between I have to adjust the speed. Please excuse me. So we're going to start. Okay, we are going good now. You know, in India, this kind of small gathering, we call it mehfil. So like in India, olden time, I'm sure it happened in Western culture also. You know, they call musician at home. People, you know, come together and very cozy, but very selective audience comes for the music. So in India, when enjoy or somebody does something amazing, they say, "Kya baat?" Yeah. So "Kya baat hai" means what happened. So it's something when you see something like awesome, like, wow, you know, the surprise, right? So India they express as "Kya baat hai." So you can say "Kya baat" or "Kya baat hai" if you enjoy. If you're enjoying and if you feel, wow, this is something awesome, then you're most welcome. You don't have to sit in silence.
So when you're playing the bass, you're using the heel of your hand also, right?
Yeah, we call it me.
So is that to like mute the sound?
Yeah. So in India, they call Indian singing. There's a lot of shruti. They call it the between the notes. So
Yeah, okay. Very interesting sound.
you can do whole different if you really practice all the different sounds. Oh, I'm not done yet. So that was one part, and then I'm going to. fixed. The previous compositions are kind of a lot of, we can do like improvisational. So you have a theme, and then we open up each sound. It's like huge vocabulary. You know? There's a few words, and you're playing around with the words. Now these compositions are fixed composition called paran. So what we speak, and we have to play. Da din da da din 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 din da din din da da. Da 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 na 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 din din da ki da ki da da ge na da da ge da ka da din da da ge na din da 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 So in this particular composition, we call it Farnish Chakradar. So it has a 3 big segments. It's one big phrase and repeating 3 times. Within that, there's a small segment. We call it Tihai. Tihai means when you repeat a composition phrase 3 times, it ends on the sum, the first beat of rhythmic cycle. We call it Tihai. But in this case, the first segment of Da comes on the sum, the first notes. In the second segment, the second Da comes on the sum, and the last comes on the sums. It's a little very technical thing. We don't have enough time to describe and go in detail, but I will show you pointing the meeting point. So Indian music, we ends on sum. Sum means the first bit of rhythmic cycle. In this case, da din din 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 da din. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1. So that is how it's going on. So da din da din din da din din da din din da din na 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 din din da ki da ki da ta ge na da ta ge na ka ta di na ta ge na di na ka ta da din da din da din ta ka ta da din da din da din da ka ta da din da din da din da ka ta da din na 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 din din da ki ki da ta ge na da ta ge na ka ta di na ta ge na di na ka ta da din da din da din da ka ta da din da din da din da ka ta da din da din da din da ka ta da din na 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 din din da ki da ki da ta ge na da ta ge na ka ta di na ta ge na di na ka ta da din da din da din da ka ta da din da din da din da ka ta da din da din da din da ka ta. 타게나 다딘댕다 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 다딘 타게나 타게 띠때 타게나 딘딘 타게나 띠때 띠때 타게나 나나게나 띠때 다다 까띠때 개게 띠때 까띠때 까따 까따 까띠때 까따 까따 다딘다 다딘나라 it was faster sorry 다딘다 다딘댕다 다딘댕다 다딘 타게나 타게 띠때 타게나 딘딘 타게나 띠때 띠때 타게나 나나게나 띠때 다다 까띠때 개게 띠때 까띠때 까따 까따 까띠때 까따 까따 다딘다 다딘나라 다딘다 다딘나라 다 다까따까따 다딘다 다딘나라 다딘다 다딘나라 다 다까따까따 다딘다 다딘나라 다딘다 다딘나라 다 Thank you. Okay, there's a limitation because of machine. If it's like live music, there's more interactive. But thanks for bearing, enjoying it. You've been a wonderful audience. Now we are gonna take some question and answer, and then if you have time, I'll go for dance demonstration. I beg your pardon?
Because when you were in the beginning, when I first saw you doing that, I thought you were like, maybe you were like communicating with something. Like an entity or something when you were doing it.
Oh yeah, I mean the sound. Because yes, I mean
Like
because
you were actually speaking about those notes.
yeah, yes. So when we learn this music, first thing we learn is to speak before you play. You should be able to speak, and if you speak fluently, then you are allowed to play. Yeah. So once your hand is ready, of course, you have to set your hand, prepare your hand for that to play all these things. But your composition. So when I learned first time, my Guruji, we call it Guruji, he said, you have to see, can't you see? He was can't you can't see this? Like he was just telling me, see the sound, you know? Then once I start teaching, and I was ending up speaking the same thing. So in all these words, it's a different sounds graph, like 다게나 다게 띠때. So 다. This is flat. So 다게나 다게 띠때, 다게나 딘딘. So you know, especially because I'm a dancer, perhaps a lot of people are saying that when I speak, looks like I'm dancing. So 다게나 다게 띠때, 다게나 딘딘, 다게나. You know, this sound. So I'm trying to see the sound. And when you improvise the previous composition, those compositions called gaida. So we have a phrase and we repeat. So the variation has highlighting some particular sound. You might have noticed I'm doing sometimes like this. Means I'm highlighting those sounds. Like if I pick one composition I played, like this is a phrase. Now I'm highlighting each part of this phrase. So these each word we highlight. So when you play, you have to really feel it, then become more alive. I have to make it more alive. I'm trying. But this is a purpose of our practice and playing instrument is to highlight each specialty, and that by highlighting this sound, you're making this alive. Otherwise, it sounds all the same. So how much you can give expression is very important. Yeah.
Excellent. What was that word again?
This?
No, the word that you told us when we like something.
Gyabat.
Yeah.
Gyabat. Yes. Thank you. Now, I can take question afterwards. Should I go for now dance section?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Please excuse me. I have to get up. Okay, hello again. It's Jin Wan. I'm Katak dancer now. So I wish all of you could be here tonight because this is, I think, is the last concert series of the year. So I'm very thankful that I'll be the end of the closing act for this season. And I hope you are all enjoying online and in person. Kathak belong to, again, it's a Hindustani dance, northern India. And this dance evolved, and the form, what the dance is today, the influence of this dance form today, get the influence of three cultural aspects. One is Hindu, and second, Persian, and the last is a Mughal influence. Three cultural influence this dance has. So you can see in Kathak, the specialty of Kathak is spin. We have a lot of spinning. That they said it can trace from dervish dance. The spinning is very important. And tapping. We wear 100 bells on each ankle. And you might have seen, if you see Indian dance, even South Indian dance, they wear bells. But there are very few bells on the attached in the strap, leather straps that they wrap around. But we make each notes, and we make this whole thing. It's 100 and 100. Minimum, you wear 100. And sometimes some dancers wear 150 on each ankle, so 300. But in general, we are 100. These bells, we call it gunguru. Okay, do you want to speak? Gunguru? Gunguru, yeah. And then we tap and play the music. So I tell my students and people, like, Kathak dancer has the biggest instrument. That's this floor. So it depends on which floor you are dancing on, sounds change. I see this as an instrument. The floor is my instrument. So this church has a very nice instrument and with a good reverb and echo. So I hope people online could also hear the bell well. Yes, give me a sign. Yes, yeah, good. So the word Kathak derived from the kata. The kata means storytelling. So Kathak dancers were storytellers to begin with. They used to travel village to village and telling stories of gods and goddesses and so on. But today, I'm going to show you very technical elements of Kathak, the technical dance part. There's major two, Abhinaya part, which is the expressive part, and the second is technical dance. So today, you're going to see the technical dance. But there are a few things I just want to show you some idea if next time if you come to my show, which is a full show, or if you go to any other show. So I want to show you some gestures which symbolize a certain character. Like, for example, this is flute. So in Indian mythology, there is a god called Krishna. So he is a musician and he plays a flute. And he comes a lot in story of Kathak. Very romantic stories of him. And this means the Indian ladies, they tradition, they wear a veil like this. They used to cover. So it means female or any character which is represent a woman. And men, sometimes we do this. And there are different ways of describing shawl. So you might see some elements in the part towards the end when I'm doing different type of walking. So there's a different gesture. So further ado, I'm going to present Tal, again in Teen Tal and Kathak solo. Thank you. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There's a gap over 1, 2. One more time. 2, 3. Good job. I think you're excited about this calculation.
Let's see you do it.
There's a lot of math going on. Ready? 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, gap, gap, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That is the first beat. Sound easy? The other before. So, okay, we do triangle. 1, 2, 3. Right? Ready? So, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Gap, gap. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Gap, gap. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 different speeds, right? The slowest speed we do once, the medium we do twice, and the last fast one we do 3. In between, we have a gap of 2. So in the gap, you can do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. John, John. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Hi, John. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right? Good. What is it? His name? What's his name?
Keisha.
Oh, Keisha. Keisha. So we'll say hi, Keisha, in the gap. Okay? Ready? One more time. 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Hi, Keisha. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Hi, Keisha. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Very good. Now, tapping in. Right, left, right. It becomes 3. Same thing, we are just doing, instead of clapping, we are doing the step. So every time 1 is on the right. Right, left, right, 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 right, left, right. Hi, Kesha. Ready? So don't think it's hard and don't get intimidated. Right? You have both the right to make mistakes. Don't feel shy about it. Ready? You should make mistakes. Ready? 2, 3, go. 1, 2. Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
So any questions?
So, I have a question for you, just like an intercultural question.
Yes.
You're Korean, and yet you lived in India, and you learned this in India. Is there any intersection between the two? Between
Actually,
either the music or the dance?
no, actually very different. But the philosophy behind the philosophy of Indian music and the philosophy of Korean music is very similar. But the vocabulary and language is very different. Korean dance and music is more like controlled, a lot of space. But Indian dance is like a lot of rhythm, fast and exaggerated. In Korean dance, you're not supposed to smile. You need to speak through body. But Indian dance, eyes very important. As you can see, Indian people have big, nice eyes. So I think the dance form evolved based on their physical form and culture, whatever is there. So they give a lot of importance on
Okay, but
Yeah.
interesting. Okay.
Yes, yes. And then a lot of, especially this dance, Kathak, because of the influence of Hindustani music and Persian. If you see the arabesque design is so delicate, fill up. So music is also like that, and even dance is a little bit like that. Yeah, so a lot of Persian influence.
Well, even when you were twirling, it reminded me of the Turkish.
Dervish dance, that's what I was
Yeah.
mentioning, yeah. There's influence
You
of
also belly dance?
different. Ballet dance, I think, is more like Middle Eastern folk dance, and Kathak is a classical. So India, there's a distinctively difference between folk dance and folk music, and classical music. And classical dance music is literally patroned by the king and performing the court a lot of support from the court. Folk musicians and folk dancers, even today in India, they live in a village. So they, whole life, generations, they are doing music, but living very village life. So there's a big difference in India. In Korean music, now is classical folk dance, so they're merged together. But India still there's a big difference.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.